How love became my cage. At 30, I did the stupidest thing of my life. I kidnapped Marcus's mistress and hid her away, thinking I could win back his heart. When he found out, he didn't hesitate. Within days, he destroyed my family's business empire. My father's life work crumbled overnight. He went gray in a single week. My mother nearly cried herself blind. Now Marcus is demanding my father kneel and beg for forgiveness, all to force me to tell him where I've hidden his precious little bird. Claire, I spoiled you too much. Made you forget your place. You screwed up. Now you're going to learn. His words hit me like ice. Then his bodyguard slammed my father's head against the concrete floor. My heart shattered like glass. Chapter 1. Marcus. That's my father, your elder. You can't do this. My voice cracked with desperation, raw with pain I'd never felt before. 4 years dating. 8 years married. 12 years of my life with this man. And now? Everything we'd built was ash and bitter memories. Marcus grabbed my chin, forcing me to meet his cold stare. Where the hell is Lily? I wanted to fight back, but his men surrounded us. I swallowed my sobs, squeezed my eyes shut. My selfishness had already cost my parents their life's work. I couldn't let it cost them their dignity too. I bit my lip hard enough to taste blood. Let my parents go. Promise you'll leave them alone. Then I'll tell you. Marcus waved his hand. The bodyguard stepped back. For a split second, I thought I'd won. Then his fingers closed around my throat, lifting me until my feet left the ground. The world went dark at the edges. I clawed at his hands, gasping. Claire, his voice was poison sweet, did I give you too much rope? Make you think you could negotiate with me? Finding Lily is a matter of hours. What makes you think you have any leverage? Crushing you would be like stepping on an ant. You get that, right? Terror flooded my veins. Even as I fought for air, tears streamed down my face. But I managed to choke out, even so, you can't hurt them. They're my family. Something flickered across Marcus's face, edge, maybe hurt. His grip tightened until I saw stars. Then suddenly, I could breathe. I collapsed, gasping, shaking from fear and relief. In that moment, every memory we'd shared played in my head like a broken movie reel. All those years of happiness twisted into knives stabbing my heart. I couldn't stop crying. For the love that died today. For the marriage that was never real. For the fool I'd been, trying to save what was already rotting from the inside. Marcus watched me break down with dead eyes. He pulled me up by the chin, forcing me to look at him. Where is Lily? His voice promised violence if I didn't answer. Upstate, I whispered. She's at a cabin upstate. He smiled, then sharp and cruel. Without another word, he walked away with his entourage. I knew it was over. Whatever we'd been, whatever I'd thought we had, it died the moment he chose her over everything we'd built together. Even if it killed me, I had to cut him out of my heart. Chapter 2. Sweetie, are you okay? Mom held me tight. Her voice breaking. I nodded through my tears. I'm sorry. This is all my fault. If I hadn't been so stupid. Don't, Dad's voice was gentle but firm as he pulled us both close. None of this is your fault, baby girl. I wiped my face, steeling myself for what came next. I'm filing for divorce. Good, Mom said without hesitation. Nothing matters more than your happiness. Marcus and I met in college. Love at first sight, at least for me. I chased him relentlessly until he finally said yes. We got married. Right after graduation. It wasn't until after the ceremony that I learned the truth about who he really was. Marcus Sullivan, heir to the Sullivan Empire. He'd hidden it so well. Wore thrift store clothes, lived in a cramped apartment, worked part-time jobs. I thought he was just another broke college kid. Later, he explained, I needed to know if people wanted me or my money. I was so naive. I thought I'd passed some kind of test by loving the real him. I never asked what he saw in me. Maybe if I had, I would have been prepared for what came next. When I discovered Lily, when I confronted him about the affair, he looked at me like I was insane. Claire, what's wrong with you? You're 30 years old. How do you compete with a 20-year-old? You're not young anymore. Not pretty enough. Not exciting enough. Why would I stick with you when I could have her? The words hit me like physical blows. He seemed to forget that just months before, he'd begged me with tears in his eyes, love me more, Claire. Please. I need to know you won't leave. He'd whispered, my parents never taught me how to love. Show me. Teach me. I want to be worthy of you. All lies, apparently. I'd spent years reassuring him, building up his confidence, telling him he was enough. I'd held him through panic attacks, through nightmares, through every moment of vulnerability. I thought we were building something beautiful together. But he was just shopping. And I'd expired. Chapter 3. Marcus had met Lily 6 months earlier. She was a college sophomore working at a bar. To pay tuition. He'd played hero, rescuing her from drunk customers who got handsy. I was there that night, watching my husband's face light up when he looked at her. Even then, I knew. But I told myself I was being paranoid. She reminds me of you at that age, he'd said when I questioned him. Such a perfect lie. Just believable enough to make me doubt myself. Soon she was at every company dinner, every social event. He'd hold her hand, kiss her in front of our friends, introduce her as his protégé. The humiliation burned. But I convinced myself it was business. When I finally worked up the courage to confront him, he laughed. Claire, you're acting crazy. You think I'd throw away 12 years for some kid? Trust me. But trust was all I had left, and it wasn't enough. So I hired people. Had Lily taken to a remote cabin in the mountains. I told myself it was temporary just until Marcus came to his senses. Instead, he came for my family's throat. The Sullivan name carried weight. One phone call from Marcus, and our investors vanished. Another call, and our creditors demanded immediate payment. 40 years of my father's work gone in 72 hours. I'd gambled everything on love and lost spectacularly. Chapter 4. What do you want from me? I stared at him across the restaurant table. We were meeting to discuss divorce terms. At least, that's what I'd thought. Want from you? Marcus's smile was winter cold. Who said anything about divorce? My blood turned to ice. Marcus. You had your tantrum. Made your point. Now let's go home. I'm not going anywhere with you. His expression darkened. Yes, you are. You're my wife. That's not changing. You can keep playing house with your little girlfriends, but publicly? You're mine. The casual cruelty of it stole my breath. You can't be serious. Your family's company, their reputation, their future, all of it depends on your good behavior. He leaned forward, voice dropping to a whisper. Cross me again, and I'll make sure they never recover. I wanted to scream. To flip the table. To run. Instead, I sat there, trapped, as he explained my new reality. Be a good wife in public. Don't embarrass me. In exchange, your parents keep their dignity and I don't press charges for kidnapping. And if I refuse? His smile was sharp as broken glass. Let's not find out. Chapter 5. That night, I called my parents from the airport. Pack light. We're leaving the country. Tonight. Sweetheart. Please, Dad. Just trust me. Mom cried when she saw me. Her face was hollow, aged 10 years in 10 days. I'm so sorry, I whispered, holding her tight. We're proud of you, Dad said firmly. You chose freedom over fear. That takes courage. On the plane, I finally let myself break down. 12 years. Half my adult life given to a man who saw me as property. I'd loved him with everything I had, and it still wasn't enough. Maybe it never could have been. Chapter 6. 3 months later, Marcus found me. I was working in a restaurant kitchen, hands raw from washing dishes, when his shadow fell across my station. This is pathetic, even for you. I didn't look up. Couldn't trust myself to speak. Come home, Claire. You've made your point. I don't have a home with you anymore. He grabbed my wrist, thumb rubbing over the cuts and burns from kitchen work. For a moment, something almost like concern flickered across his face. You don't have to do this. I can take care of you. Like you took care of our marriage. The words came out bitter as poison. Good. I wanted them to hurt. His grip tightened. Don't test me. Or what? You'll destroy my life again. Newsflash, you already did that. For the first time since I'd known him, Marcus looked genuinely shocked. Maybe he'd expected me to come crawling back. Maybe he thought 3 months of minimum wage and cheap apartments would break me. He was wrong. I filed the papers yesterday, I lied smoothly. We're done, Marcus. Move on. His face went white, then red, then something close to desperate. You can't leave me. Watch me. I walked away from him then, my heart pounding but my step steady. It was the first time in 12 years I'd chosen myself over him. It felt like flying. Chapter 7. Marcus didn't take rejection. Well. He showed up at my apartment. At my job. At the grocery store. Always with flowers, always with promises. I ended it with Lily, he'd say. It was a mistake. You're the only one I've ever loved. I can change. We can start over. Please, Claire. Don't throw away everything we built. But we hadn't built anything. He'd built a cage and convinced me it was a home. The Marcus I'd fallen in love with, if he'd ever existed, was dead. Had been for years. What stood in front of me now was just a spoiled rich boy who'd lost his favorite toy. 6 months after I left, I heard he'd married Lily. 6 months after that, I heard they'd divorced. Some people never learn. Epilogue. I got a call last spring. Marcus had been in an accident. He's asking for you, his mother said. Please come. I almost hung up. Almost. But curiosity won, and I found myself in that sterile hospital room, looking down at the man who'd shaped so much of my life. He looked smaller somehow. Fragile. Claire. His voice was barely a whisper. I'm sorry. I know. Do you hate me? I considered the question seriously. Did I? After everything, the manipulation, the threats, the years of my life I'd never get back. No, I said finally. I don't hate you, Marcus. I don't feel anything for you at all. His eyes filled with something that might have been tears. That's worse than hate, isn't it? Yeah. It is. He died 3 days later. Complications, the doctor said. I didn't go to the funeral. But I did send flowers. White lilies. It seemed appropriate somehow. 2 years later, I'm married to Davida, teacher I met at the community center where I volunteer. He's kind and funny and treats me like I matter. We're expecting our first child in December. Sometimes I think about the girl I was at 20, so desperate to be loved she'd accept crumbs and call them a feast. I wish I could tell her what I know now, that love isn't supposed to hurt. That the right person won't make you smaller to fit their world. That you deserve better than a beautiful cage, no matter how golden the bars. But maybe she wouldn't have listened anyway. Some lessons you have to learn the hard way.